Hi everybody and welcome to What's in the Box. Today I am having a look at the Ice Maiden Battle Fleet set for Dystopian Wars. This is a big box and you get a ton of stuff in here. First up on the cover we can see some very nice artwork. We've got our Ice Maiden here, some guns at the front. I think there are some options for this. If we flip the box over, you'll see exactly what we're getting. So we're getting a good mess of frigates in here, some nice cruisers. These are very modular and you can do a lot of different things with these. The Ice Maiden itself, which appears to have two variants here. So we've got one with those big electrical cannons that we saw and something with more traditional cannons. So I'm interested to see how they go together. Also for our cruisers, we can see there are multiple variants for them. And for our frigates, they are built one way. We've also got some tokens down the bottom here to mark what's launching off our Ice Maiden. Let's dig in. So the first thing we're going to come to is the Ice Maiden itself. This is a big chunky bit of resin, but as you can see, the details on here are absolutely gorgeous. You've got some hangar bay doors down the side here, some big smokestacks. We've got two runways on here, some already molded on aircraft, so we've got some fighters and some bombers here. We have this little component here which you can actually choose whether it's a fighter or bomber on there, I believe. And then around the front you can see we've got another component that's going to glue on here to give us those basically attack doors where you've got your guns mounted. On the other side, more smokestacks, more launch bays, and around the back we've got the big propulsion unit. So we'll put that to one side and we'll start having a look at some of the other components here. So we've got our conning tower. Pretty straightforward. This is just going to pop into this little piece here. And that's just a little bit of super glue to pop that down. Our next component is this. This is sort of the prow of our ship that is basically hooking in to our front here, and that fits really well. Nice clean cast on it. The details are super sharp, and that'll create our base for our weapons. Then on top of that, we also get ourselves a little sprue here. So these are basically the train tracks. This is sort of the theme for this faction, that all of their weapon systems are mounted on train tracks, so they can just run the carriage on, armed with a weapon, pull it off, and you've got something new. We then have this component here with our, I believe that's a bomber with the wings folded, and on the other side we've got a little fighter on there. Okay, now we get a half dozen sprues in here to make some of our ships. You get two types, 3 of each. So on this one, we can see we've got the components for our cruiser on here. So we've got our main deck here. This can actually do an aircraft carrier, a smaller aircraft carrier, so that's kind of nice. We've got our control deck on here. We've got these, which I believe we're going to use some of the components off of this to actually arm up the Ice Maiden. We've got some smaller hulls on here. We've got some fighter aircraft on here. We've got what looks to be, I'm thinking, AA turrets. We've got some smokestacks on here as well. We've got this, which actually builds up as kind of a gun carriage to actually take some of our different weapon platforms. We've got the sides of our hull on here as well. And we've got our tokens to mark bombers and fighters on here as well. Now, our other sprue is one that you're probably familiar with because I think I already unboxed this. So we've got our little frigate hulls on here. We've got the hull for our cruiser on here. We've got the two sides of the gun carriage to actually take some of our weapon systems on here. We've got what appears to be a control deck, perhaps for the frigates, I believe. And then we've got some of our smokestacks, more gun carriages. We've got missile systems on here. We've got some standard turret options here, which are just, I believe they're solid shot. Don't quote me on that. We've also got some small weapons on here as well as some shield generators. And we've got the main deck for our cruiser. Right, we also obviously get all of the bases we're going to need, and on top of that we get an Ice Maiden booklet. So read this first, always a good idea. So we've got instructions for putting the Ice Maiden together and showing you, there are some small plastic components that look to come from our plastic sprues here to actually complete the Ice Maiden as well. As you can see, clear instructions for how to put everything together, what your different options are for mounting different weapons. Then we've got, we've got Blucher class cruisers in here as well. So that's quite interesting. We can arm them with some of our regular guns or with some of our missiles. We've then obviously got our little frigates and stuff on here too. And then I like that they've done this in this box. So we've got our stat sheets in here. So we've got the Ice Maiden Dreadnought Supercarrier. The difference between these two is you've got fresh and you've got damaged. So your stat lines and stuff do change, and sometimes I think it can lock out special rules as well. Gorgeous piece of art of the Ice Maiden. I wish that had maybe been like, I don't know, at least an A4 in the box just on its own as a nice little poster. We've then got a couple of, ooh, is this, this might be a named, or a different variant of the Ice Maiden, which is interesting. Another variant of the Ice Maiden. And then we've got our frigates in here, and we've got our destroyers in here. We've also got a nice little rundown on what the critical damages are whenever you're playing the game. On top of that, we've got a little bit of a breakdown on what is in the wheel. You've got your arcs in here, you've got some of your special weapon qualities in here, and on the back you've got quick reference for what everything does. I quite like whenever companies do that. I like whenever they make things easy and they add everything you need to know in the box in a very light format. Okay, I'm going to go and get some of this built, and I will be right back. And I'm back, and I've built a few pieces from the Ice Maiden set. So, first things first, of course, we want to see the Ice Maiden itself now that it's built. So you can see we've applied the conning tower. There's a few plastic components from the other sprues. So we've got some AA guns here, and some little cannons that are going on here. On the front, you can see it has been armed with the energy style weapon. You've got two options here. You can do the energy style weapon or more of a solid shot piece. But whenever it's built, it is a hefty piece of resin, and I have to say it looks really good. Also on the back end, I decided to do the bomber, and I do like that it has the little folded wings. Next up, we have some of our smaller ships. So this one is a smaller aircraft carrier variant that you can build. I did notice you've got the support box sprues and the main fleet sprues in here to build your different ships. So this is your aircraft carrier, one of the options you can build. And then we have, I built this one as a, oh, if they fall off, they fall off. I built this one as a missile battery ship, but as you can see, the turrets, you can just swap them out to have whatever you like. The detail is really nice, crisp and gorgeous, and your little missile turrets are really cool. So it really depends on how you want to arm your ships in the game. Also, we do get our SRS tokens, so basically these are your fighters and your bombers being sent out to attack, harass, or maybe even defend your own ship. Now, we do get two variants of the smaller boats. So we have this one here, which has two cannons on it and a couple of little broadsides on there. This one you can also arm with the solid shot or the energy weapons, the smaller variant of the energy weapons, which is really nice. I like the design of this ship, the idea that they're just rolling in and out different carriages to rearm their ships. Now, our other variant is smaller again. So as you can see, it doesn't have that second gun battery up on top, but it is very pretty. Now, this set, I will say, looks to be a really great option if you're looking to get into this faction for Dystopian Wars. I'm hoping they do more for the other factions, because let's be honest, who doesn't love a big battle box that's just going to get you straight into the game? Anyway, drop your comments in below, tell me what you think. I'll move on. I'll see you again soon.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.